Cover up my greasy hair. Don't want people knowing I'm just some dirty wop.
Do not. No one needs to know that. You gotta hide that.
I had a guy today in Australia. We were talking like 5 a.m. I'm like, I'm gonna go off cam unless you want to see this sausage all over my chest. He's like, you got it, buddy. Thank you.
Radical openness.
Yes, something like that. Mr. Ford, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Been busy. Haven't checked in a while. I just had for a moment figured I'd attend.
That's great. I'm glad to see you. Obviously, do your thing, but glad to see you. And then let me dive in some cool stuff I want to talk about today. Today, I want to talk about basically scaling appropriately. Doug, as a quick note for you, just so you know, so Tom has been incredibly proactive, by the way. Shout out Tom, shout out Bromley as well. I can't think about a couple others, but that I've seen. Sharam, yeah, it has been a little bit, but I saw him maybe it was before the thing. But I feel like Bromley I've seen a few times, and James doesn't matter. But Tom's been incredibly proactive. So I bring that up. I mentioned to him yesterday and to Brom. I was like, "Hey, Doug's joining a lot of these sessions, so I'm waiting for you guys to get yelled at from Doug to be like, where the hell are you guys?" After he's let you guys hang yourself with enough rope. And so just heads up, you might want to join these things. That said, I'll shout out to Jack Higgins, has reached out as well with some very specific things. And I can at some point I'll check the dashboard to see if anybody's actually going through specific trainings or whatever. However, my recommendation for you to recommend or require, to decide if you want to recommend or require it to your under direct reports is this, and then I'll dive is in here. I've mentioned before, but the course, there's a bunch of videos in here. A lot of them are like 8 minutes.
Yep.
3-minute course. And I would recommend that you on the smallest level of it, you tell them to do that and ask them to send you recordings if they run it, just so that they know they did it. Or you start doing it in your meetings with people and you're like, how's it going with your team? And they'll just be like, oh, he's kind of assuming I have to do that. Either way, this is the trainings we ran. Everyone is like, yes. And I'm hearing people and people's people telling me I'm using feedback and coaching and one all, but the way that it continues is going to be through your follow-up. And so you got to follow up from the top, just like we talked about. You got to be a 10 out of 10. So everybody else is an 8 out of 10.
Yep.
Recommendation I would have. And I think it would, though I know that it's there's a lot of value in letting people hang themselves. I think that a note as well to say like, hey guys, like here's a screenshot of me, take a screenshot of this and be like, I'm here. I'm busy as hell too. You guys should join. Let me know. That's another thing. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. That said, Chris, I just got hit up by somebody who's in the program who's doing really well, like tons of inbounds and that kind of stuff. And they just fired their SDR manager. Oh no, he needs someone in New York. Fuck. Sorry, never mind. I was like, it's actually a good opportunity as an SDR.
Oh, cool. I appreciate you. By the way.
Wait, Alejandro, you're in New York. You want a new gig? You want to be an SDR manager?
Yeah, that's an interesting conversation. I'm not going to say no.
Let's talk offline. Yes. I'm going to talk to him after this, hopefully to get more clarity on what it is, but it's like a medical something. It's a brand new division, but this kid's been fucking killing it over there. The company's doing fantastic. Every time I talk to him, I'm like, wow, I'm very surprised how good things are going. And the SDR manager they had, I think, was like 23. So it wasn't like, it's not like you're replacing a Chris Westcott. You're replacing like a dummy. Yeah. All right. Slack me your LinkedIn just so I like have it in my Slack or I see it somewhere. But okay,
will do.
Last person in here. All right, cool. So today what we're going to talk about is scaling. Scaling systems, scaling people in general. The tool I'm going to use as my explainer is onboarding. But onboarding to me is the first thing you kind of scale. So there are 3 things when it comes to scaling. The first is documenting. So have you documented your answers? If your problem right now that sucks up a lot of your time, if your problem is questions, you should be writing down the answer somewhere. just documenting it. If your time suck is listening to calls, you should be like writing down the things that you're looking for on calls and making your own GPT for it. If it's performance, you should be like documenting like what is good, what is bad, and what happens if. But the documenting is the first thing. The second thing is videos, or sort of, well, I think a better way to say it would be creating course material. So for example, it's a good example of this. This is, yeah, that's a good one too. That's a great one. Scribe, because you can like screenshot the screen and adds and all the things. The second is course material. So course material is like, what do I need this person to do? So if I'm getting a lot of questions and the questions are about a certain discovery, I don't know, competitors, the first thing is documenting, here's the information on competitors. The second is like, I guess it really is the same thing now that I think about it, but the course material is writing it, creating something that they can learn from. So there's like just writing it out. But for example, this is one I have for onboarding. There's writing it out. I can just write down like, here are the 3 things that our product does. But instead, I'm like, the course material is this document here that is like, go ask these 5 people what our product does. This is like the way you learn it. So there's like just like the writing of like, here are the facts, here's what I'm doing, and then there's the actual like making it learnable. And then the last bit, which is also here, but I'll show another version of it, is homework. So for example, let me zoom in. When I'm onboarding someone, I want them to know how they're paid. So I can just tell them, here's how you are paid. I can make a video that says, here's how you are paid. I can make a document that says, here's how you are paid. But at no point do I know. However, if I ask them these questions and they answer those questions, I can then know that they actually know the answer. All right. So again, I'm using this onboarding as an example, but I want you to think about this in your day-to-day life with your team, how you will create the material. Let's just go with those two. How you would create the course material and how you would create the homework. So I'll show you this example. So when I onboard a new person, and then this comes from me, the last like 10 years of my career has been significantly international, most of the team being multiple time zones away. And so it was forced upon me. I am a very caring person who would usually, with a new hire, spend hours and hours, so much time with new hires in particular. And then with this went down from like, when I first started doing this, I remember it was taking me about 10 days of time, about half days to onboard people. And then with this, it was like 2 hours. And I didn't see any reduction in any increase in ramp time or any reduction in quality. If anything, it went the other direction. All right. So what I do is I'm just like, what's up, man? Welcome to the squad. Here's your onboarding checklist. See ya. That's onboarding. I'm like, I make a copy. I'm like, here are your specific to-dos, very clear. Make a copy of this, make a copy of this. Here are my exact expectations. Here's what perfect looks like. Clarity, clarity, clarity. What I want you to do, what the specific milestone is, if I can have a hard number. By the way, these yellow things in here are like, if I give this document, these yellow notes are meant like for you. Like if someone's taking this template and adjusting it for their own company, they're meant for you. Cool. I'm like, here's the org chart. I put videos. I'm like, here's a link to the comp plan. And here's a video of me explaining the comp plan. So I only had to do it once and not a bunch of other times. Here's a screenshot. I clarify what good looks like. I clarify what bad looks like. Provide them with a variety of trainings they can watch if they want to. For the customer, I give it a video explanation of who the customer is. And I have a document that I'm screenshotting. You guys have hopefully seen this in the HQ doc. For the product, I was like, for the product, oftentimes we're like, sit on calls, do ride-alongs, listen. But this takes so much time, where what I find can be more beneficial is this. Ask these people these questions. Or if it is calls, listen to this many calls, listen to these 5 calls and answer these 5 questions. So for example, if it's just, I want you to like learn our sales process, for example, I would have the same thing here, but it would be like, so you'll see what I'm doing here is I'm not allowing people to just listen. Go listen to a bunch of calls. Go watch a guy in the field. I'm going to be like, I want you very specifically at the end of this week, I want you not to osmosis 85,000 things that happen and really only remember that one really weird situation. because it just happens to be the thing you remembered in your mind. I want to be like, do you have 5 different experiences of how we started calls? You were able to zoom into that, and your brain is now being called to see that pattern. Because oftentimes we're like, listen to calls, but like, what is the pattern they're seeing? They're not seeing the pattern. It will take them 8 months, 2 years to notice how everybody starts their calls, what those disco questions typically sound like. I know this because I guarantee that if you had someone, if you did a role play in your team right now, there are people who say, oh, that's a good question, Sarah. That's a cool question. I've never heard that. Because we're not able to just find every single pattern. So, sorry. So this, what I'm doing here, these few questions that I put here as an example would be for someone if you're just having them listen to calls. So imagine if you have a new hire, Chris, and you're like, I don't have time to train you, but can you like learn how to do our sales process? I'd be like, go find 4 calls, each call like name or whatever up here, and then answer these questions about these calls. 1, it will get this person to then be able to see 4 different versions of how we typically start calls or whatever. 2, it gives this also acts as homework for me. I can now see they've done it, and then in the end they have to have like their take, so they have to like critically think about these things. The example I have here in this exact example is simply the solution problem I'm trying to solve is learn about our company, not our sales calls. Learn about our company. So I'm like, oh, we don't have anything documented. You know, we're brand new, man. We don't have shit. I don't know. Just ask people. I don't want you to learn over 2 years. I want to be like, if you can get 4 versions of that answer, 4 versions of that answer, 4 versions of that answer, you're going to know a lot about our company. And if you write them in here, I'm going to know you did it. And if you write this in here, I'm going to know that you actually get it because you now have to like recall that information. Job feel. So that's what I do here for onboarding for the product. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to bring up Chef again. Clarify, help, follow up.
Can I chime in real quick?
Please.
When you're first going through this, I think especially with the way people are used to onboarding, do you explain like, just a heads up, when you get started with us, we do things slightly differently. But we find it works better. Blah blah blah.
Yes.
You give them a heads up.
Yes. Yes, I do. I usually send this ahead of time before they're hired, even to be like, hey, this is what it's going to be like in week 1. And also I typically in the first day I'll do like a 15-minute, like 9 a.m. What's up? Like, here's what's going on. Welcome. And then I usually do like a 5-minute catch up each day at like 4:30 for the first week. Just be like, you all right? Like, how's everything going? Can I see your doc? Just so they don't feel like they're kind of off. Great question. Oh yeah. Clarify, help, execute, follow up. So I'm being very clear. Instead of just being like, yo, listen to calls, I'm like, listen to calls, and these are the specific things I want you to listen for. Helping, I might actually pre-book these meetings for them. If I have time, in a perfect world, they walk in on Monday morning and all that's already on their calendar. The other version I've done of this is I've like just asked reps in my team, like, hey, for the next week, like Joe starting on Monday for the next week, can you guys start adding him to all of your meetings so that when he comes in, he has like a bunch of meetings he can join? That would be help. And then a follow-up is me actually seeing this information as well as talking to them each day for like 5. Okay, cool. So this is another version of how I train without being there. So for closing deals. So what I am doing is I put a link to the script and a link to the deck, and usually a link to a video somewhere in here of me doing a sales call. Okay. In the instructions here, it's like, hey, answer these questions about the call that I just gave you. Very similar to what I was doing over here, right? I'm like, I want to have you think about very specific things. What's his tone? Why did that work? What are some nonverbals, right? So this gets the person to think more critically and understand what was going right and wrong on the call. Then I have them just upload their role plays right into here, because in here it's very clear instructions. It's like pick 5 calls, open the script, make a copy, make a master version of it, set up a role play twice, send me your third best one, get feedback, continue on until you need more. So I have to do nothing. I just know on probably Wednesday I'm going to get a video from them. So going back, just because these are kind of the same thing, we use the onboarding question document, some version of ask specific questions of specific people in order to get the information. It might also be read these 100 articles, watch these 100 videos, go on these 100 calls, and give me specific info and look for specific information. So you get a cross section of that information, and it's either in a sheet or in a deck here. Sorry, in a doc here. And then ultimately I'm either asking for the document to be filled out or a video to be sent. Cool. This is something I need them to do on their own, basically. So for the CRM, I will have a screenshot of how the CRM is written up. So we talk about documenting for the CRM. So in any org, this is one of like the top 5 things I'll create. First thing is performance plan. This is definitely number like 3 to 5. Is I want to be like, this is how our process is in a vacuum. These are the stages. Here's how they're defined. Here's what we have to do to get out of them. Here are the things you got to have filled out. Here are the automations that are going on. Here's our expectations. So that they have a bit of a Bible playbook, to go like, I'm tired of people being like, oh, I wasn't sure if we needed a day or 2 days or if it was okay. And I'm like, it's all right here. Like there should be no question. Clarification is key. Then what I'm doing, I got a video for them showing them how we do it. What the hell's going on? And then I give them a task. What I find is you can see now with the sales, there's tasks for all of this. The first task was ask these people questions is like the learning. The task is give me your take. The second one is watch this sales script, sales video, give me your video. The third is watch this and see this information about our CRM, do these items, go make a contact, go add it into here, go make a dashboard, this, whatever it is. And that's it. So by the end of this week 2, wherever the hell you guys went, by the end of this week 1, I can know definitively, you know exactly what our sales process is. You have multiple points of view on our company and everything about it. You've shown me that you understand, like there's nothing left for me to not be sure about at the end of this. And also what I get out of here is I can typically see how hard people work because it's so clear that if you get any of this wrong, you didn't get it wrong because it wasn't clear. You got it wrong because you don't hold yourself to a high enough standard or you weren't sure of our standards here. So what I want to push to you guys right now is, I want us to say this directly, which is to say anything that you want to scale in an org, and the number one thing you should be looking to scale in an org is just going to be your time. You need a learning document, a homework. Oh yeah, we were doing like science experiments today. A learning document, a homework document for follow-up, and an action you need them to take. So I'd love to hear a situation you guys might be in today of something you need everybody to, like, what is something that takes a bunch of thank you very much, Chris. A learning document, a homework assignment, and an action you need to take. For example, the learning document is, here's a manual on how we treat employees. Homework is a quiz, or homework is a role play where like someone comes into a Zoom and asks you a bunch of questions or something, basically a quiz. And the action I need you to take might be like answer a few or go speak with HR and tell them, what your thoughts are on how we treat employees. Weird example to try to say like this is truly anything. So I'd love to hear from you, one of you guys on the call here, to go, what is a current thing that you feel like you wish you could scale? Or in other words, what is a current thing you wish was not taking up so much of your time? And I can try to see if it's scalable and what I might do to scale it. Go ahead, Chris.
I got one if anybody has one. Right now, the thing that, I'm always like kind of noodling with Ramp, right? That's always like in process, but right now I feel pretty good about it. What I'm struggling with is like the hiring, because like I know, when I do my little like box thing that you had me do, I know I have a rep. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fire that dude, right? Like I gotta fire that guy. But it's like I don't have a role open yet, and so I'm having these conversations going on in the kind of the interviewing, but I'm like, I don't really have a role yet. I don't know exactly when I'm gonna fire this guy, and so sometimes I feel like the hiring engine of like plenty of opportunities, plenty of like referrals and like applicants and stuff like that, but just like knowing when I'm going to do it and keeping people hot in the pool. That's sort of a place that I struggle right now as far as onboarding goes.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna open it up to everybody else as well. While that's a significant thing for you and related to onboarding, I think it misses the mark of the question a little bit, which is like, what is a thing, task, situation you're in that you want to be able to scale, and how can we create documents and stuff and actions to be able to scale it. If I was your boss and I was like, Chris is asking me a shit ton of questions as it relates to hiring and onboarding and keeping everybody fresh, I would be like, okie dokie, Chris, I'm going to make you, I want to have I'm going to create a hiring scorecard that I want you asking these questions. And in that scorecard, we're going to have the questions as well as the like disqualification criteria, whatever. So there's a document. I'm going to have a homework assignment for you, which is to like interview a friend or interview somebody on the team and tell me and show me that you've done it. And the homework assignment might also be, I might also create a doc for you that's like, here's how many people we need. If we need to hire by X date, when we need to start the process, and that X date can be like dynamic. So you can be like, oh, I need to hire for Jan 1. And then it dynamically is like, cool, you must start posting the job October 1st, so that it actually tells you what to do. And then again, the homework assignment would be like, hey, Chris, I need you to tell me the exact thing you're going to do in January, February, March, knowing that we need to hire in April, June, and July. So that you have to go through that thing and tell me how you've done it, so that you then realize how quickly you do those things. That would be the way that I would do that as your manager, to be like, I know that he knows what to do. I know he's got an easy way to do it. And then my follow-up with you would just be to have you show me those documents, so I know you did it, without having to be like, all right, Chris, let's sit down. Let me look at your fucking pipeline. Who's on your team? What are their names? Oh my God, I don't want to do all that. What's some other shit you guys might have where you're like, questions are taking a lot of time. People never understanding how this certain thing works, taking up too much of my time.
Questions are a big thing for me. I've asked them to be kind of batched and like sectioned out into like one point in the day. And I'm playing around with the idea of building a GPT too, now that I've used yours.
Yep. The questions are definitely going to push you to a GPT. What I would recommend as like the easiest way to do this is just open up a GPT that and just be like, hey, remember everything I tell you. And then just keep it pinned. And then as you get those questions, screenshot it, copy and paste it, whatever. Be like, here are all the questions I got. Here are all the answers I gave. And then you keep doing that for a month, 2 months. And then you go, great, like create a database of answers and put it into a doc. And then you can go to a GPT, go to create a GPT, upload that document as the only source, and then give it to your team to be like, what would it say? The other thing you do is you do it for yourself. So like I have an audit that I send people. So I always get answers back. So I went and I took my answers to that audit and I dumped them into my own GPT. So now when I get an audit, I'm literally just like imagine this is a question. I go copy, paste, enter, and it's like, here's how you would likely answer to this. And now I have my answer and I can just adjust where I see fit. So I would recommend that as the easiest way to do it. But you definitely want a GPT over time, because people are going to continue asking questions. Like as you hire new people, you want to know that this was answered a long time. That's my short answer. Other stuff, situation, you're like, you know what? I got people on my team keep asking the same question. I'm getting the same question over and over. I'm getting the same, let's call it misalignment of behavior activities.
I have a good one. I think a better one. If
No.
nobody has one.
No, I'm cool with you, Chris.
People not filling out the deal properties and the contact record properties when they land a set. It's like constant. They're not filling out right. They have questions about it. It's never like 100% on point, and I always got to go clean up their shit.
Okay, cool. So I'll give a couple of things on this. So one way that I would solve this today is the immediate solve is you only get paid if that information is in. Boom, full stop. It stops it in its tracks. It's the most annoying. It's the most annoying, but that will stop it in its tracks. In all of my comp plans, there's a huge line in it that says like a deal or like revenue equals, and then it's like CRM being filled out 100%. All SLAs of our process are held exactly as they should be. Whatever. So I can say to people like, if you fuck any of this shit up, like you're out. And then also the line right below that, it says if we find out that you lied or like cut any shortcuts or whatever, you're fucking gone. Because they'll be like, yeah, I'll fill it out, but I'm just gonna fucking put an NA, bunch of bullshit, lie about it. So I put those two things next to each other. However, second thing I would do is I would do a leaderboard, and I would show all the ones where you had to work on it. I'd be like Jake 3, Tony 2, Sarah 15, Jake or John 8. and that's like the number of deals or percent of deals, so they can see that as a scorecard. I always go to the leaderboard. That's like another easy fix. However, using today's techniques, what I would say is I would probably run a meeting with them where I would be like kind of over the top on clarification of like, here are all the fields that we care about. None of these matter. Every time you put a deal, it goes in here. If you don't have any of this information, you should not get credit for this deal. You currently do, only because the company's being soft. However, I will not accept that. I need everybody to fill out all these fields. If you don't, I will not be giving you more leads. By more leads, I mean the moment I see it, you won't be getting more leads. Does anybody have any question on this one? This one means this. Joe, what does this one mean? Jake, what does this one mean? Okay, let me show you an example of a good one. Let me show you an example of a bad one. So you go like kind of crazy clarifying it, and I would video that for any new hire. And then I would, for a week, I would ask them to send me screenshots, and that would be the homework. So the training information would be the training, which I'm going to video, send to new hires. The action would be you go put the information in as you get deals, and the homework would be screenshot every one of your deals over to me for a week. You make it pretty cumbersome, but then it's every extreme behavior in a short period of time drives long-lasting behavior change. Whereas if you kind of check in on it over and over for like months, and like it wasn't a problem for me. So like for you, it's every day. But the reality is for each individual, it's like once a month they hear about Chris kind of bitching about their shit. Because like it wasn't me 2 months ago, it wasn't me today, it won't be me next month. So I'm never going to see the pattern of like, this is really a problem.
That's really good. Dude, I appreciate that.
You're the best. All right, guys, get out of here. Love you all. Check you later. See ya.
Thank you.
Thanks.